Miss PR will represent that V-Town, and I'm sitting here with the lovely Miss Tracey Wells-Huggins of Renewed Minds. How are you?
I'm fine. Hi, everybody. I'm excited for this opportunity to talk.
Oh, I know. It's been a long time coming. So for those who have never heard of Renewed Minds, just tell us a little bit about your organization.
Renewed Minds is a company that's actually dedicated to helping young people and at-risk young adults to understand that there is something inside of them that is always pushing them to be a success, and we want to help them identify it.
Okay, now what age does Renewed Minds serve?
We actually serve youth as young as 8 years old, all the way up to 19. However, we don't stop there. If there's somebody who actually wants our services and just needs a little bit of kinship or mentorship, then we'll take them on as well. We have young people as old as 24 years old involved in our programming.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now, I know your story,
Yes.
but can you just tell others what led you to start Renewed Minds?
October 19th, 2007, my son, who was 14 at the time, was arrested and held in police custody for about 3.5 hours, and I was not contacted. Nobody reached out to me, to his father, to his stepfather, and because I'm the neighborhood mom, I began a mission. Went on a hunt for my boy. You know, they said the worst place to be is between a mother bear and her cub.
Right.
And that's my cub.
I know that's right.
And so I'm out looking for my son because he wasn't home at 3, 4, or 5 p.m. And I ran to one of my neighborhood sons, and he said, I saw him in the back of a police car hours ago. And so to make a longer story short, we grabbed up the trifecta, which is me, my husband, and my son's father. We went to the police station locally, and what we found was that there were at least 14 other young men of color shackled to a wall, kept in custody all that time. And the charges against them was suspected gang activity. So it opened my eyes to a few things. Number one, in 2007, who knew that we had gangs in Cumberland County?
Right.
You know, I'm thinking, that's Camden, or that's, the West Coast. We don't have that here. And second of all, there were 3 questions that I kept getting asked as I was looking for services for my son. Are you on welfare? Not at this particular point in time, Is there DIFUS involvement in your family? No. Is your child already adjudicated or actually sentenced or in the detention center? And I said no. And based on those 3 criteria and facts, we weren't privy or eligible for many of the programs that currently existed at that time. And so the nurse in me, as you can see in this cup, believes that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so I began to really dig deep, and Renewed Minds was born as a result of that event. And it's grown to include not only males, but female programming as well now.
Now we're going to focus this interview on the females. And you call your ladies in Renewed Minds rubies.
Yes.
Where did that name come from?
It came from Proverbs, the book of Proverbs in the Bible, because the Bible says that who can find a virtuous woman, for her worth is far above rubies. And I think that, especially with the name Renewed Minds, which means you need to think differently, that young ladies need to begin to think about themselves in terms of being something precious, something that is hard to obtain, because we already know the negative statistics and the things that they have to say about our young women. But if we can begin to get them to think in terms of I'm a precious jewel, imagine how far they can go.
Now, what social issues do you believe that teens are dealing with today that you feel like Renewed Minds can help with?
We definitely offer them an opportunity to be heard. Young people today are often talked at, and many people approach them in terms of, we have the answers for you and this is what you need to do because this will work for you. Well, there's no cookie cutter method for having young people to succeed in life. It just doesn't work that way. Nobody learns the same, different home dynamics, whatever you're dealing with. You need to have your own personal voice heard, but you need to know that your voice is important and it's heard, and we offer that here at Renewed Minds. We offer mentoring, one-on-one sessions, group sessions, community-based, and I'm always available for speaking engagements. I do what I can for the people.
Now, we hear a lot about a lack of parent involvement in our schools, at our events. How does Renewed Minds get the parents involved, and how important is that to you?
It's very important to me because as a mother who was having an issue with my child, I made a list in the middle of the night after all this had occurred with my son. And one of the first things on that list was that I needed another parent to talk to. I think that the reason we don't have as much parental involvement in activities and in events and in schools is because many times parents don't feel as if their opinion is valued, or that you're going to judge me already before I even get to you. Another thing is, we all know what goes on in my house stays in my house. And that's good to a degree, but it's gone too far because people don't want anybody to know their dirty little secrets. The reality is that everybody has an issue, and parents need to be able to be engaged in getting their voices out as well. It's important. And especially when you come from a predominantly minority community, because that particular voice has been silenced for so long.
Right.
And so we think that the parent voice is paramount. And to that end, we often partner with Parents Anonymous of New Jersey, and we try to, as much as we can, allow parents to know that there's an important thing that's happening with you. You know, if you get involved in their programs, the 4 basic principles: personal growth, you know, shared leadership, mutual support. And, you know, it's just a matter of delving into your own personal plan, how you want to move forward, and developing that skill.
Right. Now, what are some lessons that you feel parents have strayed away from teaching their children?
About the importance of the village. One of the things that I'm known for saying is that, you know, if you become involved in our programs, your village has been activated. And we feel that's important. There was a time when if I did something down the street, before I could get home, I knew that somebody had already contacted my mother. So there was a little bit of trepidation about heading back to the house. But, you know, fear was a great motivator, but it also prompted a certain level of respect in me and for everybody around me. If we could, as parents, get back to teaching our children the importance of your village loving you and caring for you, and not being so quick to say, don't touch my child. I'm not saying for anybody to lay hands on anybody's child, because, you know, that can be pretty ugly, but I'm just saying, you know, encourage your child to understand that the community as a whole is where it all begins. And so we have to get back to teaching our children that you have to respect your elders. You have to respect the fact that somebody's been where you're going.
Right.
You know, and so if they're willing to share that with you, learn from them.
Now, you yourself have been through a domestic violence situation.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about that story?
The woman that you see before you today is absolutely not the woman that I was those years ago. I think that maybe my personal passion for young ladies and helping them to recognize their personal worth comes from a period in time when I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel that I was a precious jewel, and I felt like what I had at that particular moment was all that there was for me. And, you know, I began to grow and I began to learn. And thank God for women in my life who were planting seeds into me, who didn't really, I don't think they realized the importance of their words to me. But, you know, just having somebody positive to constantly say, you know, there's so much more in you, and not judge you was important. So getting out of that situation is never easy, but if you can identify different signs before it progresses, you can get while the getting's good.
Right. Now, what are some of those signs?
That isolation, because many times, especially young women, they misconstrue the fact, oh, he loves me. That's why he doesn't want me around this person or that person. He's calling me all the time. That must mean he cares, you know. Do you know that he really got upset when he saw me talking to so-and-so? These are the things that are misconstrued as love.
Right.
The unfortunate reality is many times the adult women in their lives have demonstrated this for them. And so it becomes a vicious cycle. So if we can recognize the little things like that, the little things that may indicate an insecurity on the part of the partner, then maybe, and we recognize that we deserve more, we'll be able to have young ladies say, you know what, I'm going to fall back just a little bit.
Right. Now, we're seeing men and women, because men and women both go through domestic violence.
Absolutely. And some of the young men have said very clearly in some of my male programming that the girls are sometimes a bit more vindictive and vicious. So it's not just relegated just to women, but I can only speak from my personal experience.
Right.
So, yeah, it goes both ways, definitely.
Right. But the age of domestic violence is getting younger and younger. It's going to high school. It's going to middle school.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to those teens and preteens who want out of this situation?
I think that it's important for them to identify the people that they can trust and talk to them. They need to be able to understand that as a preteen and even as a teen, that today is not all that you have.
Right.
You know, and the media plays a big part. The music that we listen to, everything is overly sexualized. You know, everything is, you know, much more, it's not even intimacy. There's nothing sensual. It's all purely sexual. And so we have to get young people to understand that, you know, what you see in the videos is a myth. It's smoke and mirrors.
Right.
And if you're wanting something like that outside of yourself so early in the game, that's the issue. That is definitely an issue. We have to get them to know and understand I'm much more important. And we can start that when they're babies. And then just continue to perpetuate it. Because what tends to happen is once children reach a certain age, most of the times we back off.
Right.
And that's the time when they need us most. 11, 12, and 13. Yeah, they might have some attitude, and they may suck their teeth and say, I don't want to do this. Males and females. But deep down inside, they know that they need it. And if you provide it, they will come if you're sincere. Kids want real. They want real. They don't want you coming at them like you have all the answers for them. Because they have enough people doing that.
Right.
They want to know that you can identify with what they have going on and that you're able to give them something positive. They latch on to it every time. And if you have God in the mix, which should be first and foremost, I mean,
you can't fail.
You can't fail.
Now, what do you see your rubies gain after fully committing to Renewed Minds?
I currently have a Ruby who is at Cheney University that I've been working with for a few years. I have a young lady that I've been working with for a couple of years who is on a track team at Bridgeton High School and doing amazing, very focused. I have another young lady who's in Violent High School and she's just blossomed into her own self. Used to be very hesitant to talk and speak. And now she's recognized that, you know what? I have power in my voice. I have choice in my actions. Another young lady has gotten to the point where she's even willing to make herself available to be a peer mentor to the Garnets, which is the younger version of the Rubies.
Right.
Because a Garnet is the same color as a Ruby. It's a little bit more abrasive, so it needs a little bit more love. And so I have one particular young lady, and she's from Bridgeton, and when I used to do Garnet Girls over in Bridgeton, she would come and help every week because she found something in herself that she wanted to share and to give. And so I'm just proud about the leadership that I see in the young ladies, and it's just been an amazing journey.
Now let everybody know who wants to be a part of Renewed Minds, parent or teen, how they can get involved.
You can get involved by just giving us a call here. If you want to be a part of our programs, all you have to do is give us a call here at Renewed Minds. Our main office is at 610 East Landis Avenue, right in the heart of beautiful downtown Vineland. Our phone number is 856-213-5263. I can also be reached at renewedmindsinc@yahoo.com, or you can look us up on the web, renewedmindcdcinc.com.
Fine. Thank you so much, Miss Tracey, and good luck with all your endeavors.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a good day.
Texas with young people between the ages of 13 and 18. That's real. Yeah. I left the school today where it's 5 kids. 5 kids with sexually transmitted disease that can be cured with some simple pills. 5 kids. Out of the 5 kids, 3 of them was boys. 3 boys, 2 girls.
These and that's what I want to talk about today. How girls are so mean to each other. And believe it or not, ladies, it don't just stop with y'all. It starts with y'all. But if nobody don't tell you other ways how you can handle feeling insecure when another woman growing stronger and being better, being the women that you design them to be, Lord God, I pray in the name of Jesus that you remove it. I pray that you reveal it to them, Lord God, so that they can deal with it. God, if they're dealing with it, I pray that you give them the strength, God, to walk on water, God. I pray that you give them the strength to step out, God.
I was put in the group actually later on because of my problems, my anger issues and stuff, and how I blocked everybody out of everything, and they just want to be opened up more by Miss Campbell, my guidance counselor.
You know, a lot of the stuff she does is funded out of her own pocket and with help from Parents Anonymous, but it's a good thing because I think our kids need it.